The story of Maverick is one filled with daring feats and high-stakes drama. For 4 minutes, we'll dive into the life and times of Lieutenant Peter Mitchell, better known by his call sign, Maverick. Buckle up as we explore the world of this fearless pilot. The aircraft carrier Enterprise is on patrol near the Persian Gulf when radar contact is made with a MiG fighter. The combat air patrol of the Enterprise is vectored to meet the incoming aircraft, and the fighters involved are F-14 Tomcat interceptors, each manned by a pilot and a radar intercept officer. The pilot of the lead ship is Lieutenant Peter Mitchell, going by the call sign Maverick, a call sign appropriate for his arrogant rule-bending attitude. His RIO is Lieutenant Nicholas Bradshaw, call signed Goose. Their wingmate goes by the call sign Cougar with his RIO call sign Merlin. The two F-14s split up and are surprised when a second MiG, shielded from radar by riding within feet of its leader, appears. Cougar is outmaneuvered by MiG-1 while Maverick locks his missile radar on MiG-2, who promptly disengages. MiG-1 stays on Cougar and is only chased off when Maverick flies upside down, closes up on the MiG, and flashes an obscene gesture to the enemy pilot. The MiG disengages and the two Tomcats fly to the Enterprise, but Cougar is so rattled he cannot land, forcing Maverick, low on fuel and against orders, to abort his own landing and talk Cougar to the deck. Cougar sees the captain of the Enterprise, known as Stinger, and turns in his wings. This forces Stinger to change his intended disciplinary action against Maverick, for he must send a Tomcat tandem for additional combat training at the Navy's Fighter Weapons School in Miramar, California, near San Diego. The captain is disgusted that Maverick is the only qualified candidate for the assignment. Maverick, however, is quietly overjoyed as he regards the assignment as an opportunity. Upon arrival, he begins to build a rivalry with a fellow Tomcat pilot, Lieutenant Tom Kazansky, call-signed Iceman, and his RIO call-signed Slider. At a bar the night after their first day at the school, Maverick notices a pretty young blonde in jeans and hits on her by following her into the ladies' room. It seems not to work until the next day when she appears at the school, for she is a DoD instructor on enemy aircraft known as Charlie. She begins to become smitten with Maverick before the official competition begins. In his first exercise, Maverick takes on the school's resident enemy pilot, call-signed Jester, and succeeds in outmaneuvering him and shooting him down. But in doing so, he flies below a set minimum engagement altitude, a hard deck, and then compounds this faux pas by overflying a flight tower at an absurdly low altitude just to show himself off. Iceman chews out Maverick for his unsafe attitude, and Maverick refuses to have any of it, even after the school's leader, Commander Michael Metcalf, call-signed Viper, summons him to his office and threatens to expel him should he continue this way. Metcalf, however, knows Maverick, for Maverick's father flew with him in Vietnam and was shot down when he engaged the enemy in neutral airspace. The contest between Maverick and Iceman continues. In a later exercise, Viper and Jester team up against Maverick and fellow F-14 pilot Hollywood. Maverick breaks a cardinal rule by abandoning his wingman to go after Viper, and in doing so, Hollywood is shot down, and then the same fate befalls Maverick. But the worst is yet to come. Maverick is teamed with Iceman, and Maverick, determined to win the school contest, angrily chews out Iceman for taking too long to attack an enemy craft. Maverick takes the shot, but when the two aircraft get close, the backwash from Iceman's thrusters cripples Maverick's engines, and the F-14 plunges toward the sea. Goose barely succeeds in yanking open the emergency ejection handles, but when the fighter's canopy pops open, the two pilots eject, and Goose crashes into the canopy, killing him. Maverick is devastated by Goose's death, and though an inquiry clears him of wrongdoing, his confidence is destroyed. He nonetheless graduates from the class and is reassigned to the Enterprise, where an incident with enemy MiGs leads to a fateful battle involving Iceman as well as Maverick. Iceman and Hollywood are launched to intercept a pair of MiGs but are jumped by 4 additional enemies. Hollywood is shot down and Iceman hopelessly surrounded when Maverick is launched, now with Merlin as his RIO. Maverick quickly arrives at the scene of battle, but is surrounded by enemies. When he flies into one ship's jet wash, his own fighter briefly stalls out. Though he regains control, he flashes back to Goose's death and breaks off, leaving Iceman, who has long doubted Maverick's courage after Goose's death, trapped as Merlin desperately and furiously yells at Maverick to get back into battle. Maverick is haunted by memories of his dead father and the loss of Goose. He is unable to shake this off, but Viper talks to Maverick, and suddenly Maverick begins to engage the enemy. He shoots down 4 enemy MiGs. The remaining MiGs abandon their chase of Iceman. Both land back on the Enterprise. Maverick is the hero.